Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Tony in Pennsylvania. Okay, Tony, so this is the car and we got everything. I've done the wiring harnesses as we discussed. So these are your new looms, the mass airflows. I don't know how good it is shown on pictures, but this is all loose right now because I haven't finished the setup because I'm still working on the suspension. A lower harness is pretty much done the way that you don't even see that it was touched. But let me try to catch the. You might see some. You see some blue wires down under. Those are new wires, but I always do the lower harness as much factory as I can. I leave original sheetings and everything, so up here you don't see nothing, but the wires go all the way from connector and pass inside the original sheeting, so it looks nicer like that. Throttle body, which one I've done for you? Oh, this one. This throttle body rebuilt. It was bad. New wiring loom right here, you can tell. So both mass airflows done actually. So as you can see, this is the second one. This is all sealed off. I just put extra wrap over, plastic weld and all that good stuff. Now, what else do I see? I believe there was no power steering fluid, if I remember correctly. I think I added some power steering fluid here. Suspension fluid I also have added a little bit. Yeah, I believe I did. I wanted to look at the engine oil, but that's later. The belt is something that you want to do because the belt has cracks. I'm gonna actually do a belt on the car just like yours for another customer. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's not a good shot, but there are cracks on the belt and obviously you want to replace it before. Yeah, I don't know if you can catch it on the video, but right on the fan pulley, yeah, there you go. See those cracks? No, I mean, you know, it's the way it is. It's just probably original belt, 87,000 miles. And I always change the pulley just because a pulley is accessible when the belt is removed. To get the belt out, I usually remove the radiator. Now, that's that. So now another thing before I forget what I see is we'll know about door locking pump. The pump is burnt out. It does activate, but it does not create any pressure or vacuum. This pocket is broken right here. That requires door panel removal. It can be reattached. Not critical. I did suspension linkage, the shifter linkage, because that shifter was so loose it's not even funny. It was just like all over the place. I've done that because I couldn't leave it in park because it could have rolled. And obviously since I'm on the slope, I don't know, e-brake, if it would have hauled the car. So for that reason I actually did it. Climate control display, it has an issue, it doesn't display temperature properly. Radio works, but subwoofer does not play. And a headlight switch needs to be done because it's way too loose. This calls for troubles because sometimes they short and burn out the harness behind it. It's very, very messy when that happens. I've seen that happen, so it's terrible. I don't know about the hardtop and the roof. I never touched that. Suspension situation. Suspension is terrible. All accumulators are blown. It drives just like you drive on a sled against concrete. It's just completely zero suspension. Very bad for other suspension components, so that I can also take care of. We'll talk about it on the phone. The height. I've risen the car up, as you can see. It was extremely low. Now you can actually have 3 fingers. That's about what you usually want to see. On a suspension it was way too low, but I cannot do it properly because the rod is adjusting the height. Yes, but well, I have no accumulators, so this is artificial. So before those are corrected, then I can readjust the height properly. Down inside, this car has been down all the way. You can tell because the wheel was rubbing here, so suspension at some point failed and it went so low that the wheel was rubbing inside the wheel well. So, but not critical right now. Once suspension works, it works. Most likely because the rod itself was replaced at some point because it is new. Okay, I can tell it's a brand new rod. So maybe it failed and then the car went down and it didn't go back up. Underneath the vehicle you got common oil leaks. I'm not gonna go deep in them because it's a very drastic job to do this. It's a upper chain covers. I have cover removed because I'm playing with adjustment rod, which is, as you know, right over there, and it's very kind of delicate, so I have to kind of go under the car and move it with my fingers, and then it goes up and down. Those blue wires, that's a part of the new harness that I've put up for you. Right, one control arm seemed to be replaced on the passenger side, and driver side is original, but I don't feel like suspension problems. Transmission seems very dry, which is very nice. Catalytic exhaust system looks really nice. It's a really nice car, actually. It's definitely a keeper. There are a few things to put into it, and it'll be really, really nice. Very nice. Well, transmission has a little whine when it's cold, so there is definitely a little bit of wear in there, but engine mounts, they still have some life left in them. You can see that's the engine mount down there. You still have a little bit of space, so it's not laying on the frame yet. So it's pretty much sitting on the rubber right now at this point. So hydraulic is probably gone, but who knows? It's still good enough. My mounts are like that, and I am not thinking on changing mounts on my 95 S600 because they're that low, because it's good. You don't feel vibration in the vehicle, that's all you need. When you start this car and you don't drive when it's fully warmed up, you don't even know when the engine is running. Next thing what we're gonna do is I want to show you the readouts from the computer. Now it will not be very accurate at this point because car is cold. I wanted to start the car cold because sometimes I hear that little pulley squealing a little bit because it's dry. The bearing needs to be replaced, so that has to be done so you don't lose your belts anywhere. I mean, the accessory belt is not gonna snap off. This is the computer that was missing, so now we have check engine light finally illuminate, and it goes away, so there are no errors, so that's good. I'm gonna drive the car a little bit, like a mile here, mile there, just to get it to go, because check engine usually is lit after about 4 faults, so the fault has to register 4 times before check engine lights up. Let's go start the vehicle, let it run, and then I'll continue my video. So this is the first start after basically a few days. All lights illuminate, that's good. Check engine is back lit. See, the climate control situation is, something is wrong with the display. Oh, here it goes, look at that. Oh well, almost. It's missing like a little digit here and there. See, yeah, it's missing a little bit. I mean, you can tell the temperature by moving the wheel. Obviously this is like neutral, 72, 60, 65 to like 75. Here you got like to warm. Anyway, it's not critical. All right, so let's start the vehicle. Transmission wind is there right now. It will go away when it warms up, but something to know. We have our oil pressure finally read. Oil pressure was not reading, if you remember, because the wires were all shorted. So now oil pressure reads. There's no check engine light. We have perfect idle speed. Air pump comes on. Secondary air pump. That comes on. The upshift delay seems to work. So that is that. 10 clutch works, that's good news as well. And thermostat seemed to work. Last time I drove it, it felt like it was working alright. Now because there is no air filter, there's extra air going into mass airflow, and mass airflow being loose doesn't help either. But anyway, for our purposes, it's going to work for now. Let me try to get the angle so I can show you. Yeah, I can hear from now actually. Hear that? I'm actually doing the same exact job for, there is a car down the street over there in front of the white one. That is the car I'm doing the same exact job because it's squeal. You know, I really hope that it's not actually a transmission wind, but it's this pulley wind. It just transfers over. And alright, so I don't know if this video is going to fit. What we want to do, I want to show you the readouts real quick. The mass air flows, and I have only 1 minute left, unfortunately. So anyway, so 16, 15, 8, so that's good. And then the second bank, they have to be more or less even. That's what we care for. And it froze. Alright, that's great. Now my computer froze. I don't know how good this video will be. Yeah, this is loud. I really hope it's the pulley that makes that noise. It's not the transmission, so hopefully that will be the case. Oh yeah, and I also see that valve cover gasket was replaced at some point. You see extra silicone over here. You know? It's not factory like that. Again, it's not critical, but it is leaking, so just wipe it down right here. Where's my readouts? Come on now. Come on. Okay, here's the readout of the secondary bank, so we can see that readouts are good. LH1 and LH2. I'll make a final video, I'll show you that, but I'm fine with that. The engine is fine. Alright, so I'll cut it quits because video reaches 12-minute limit. And I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you for watching. This is Victor at RestoreMercedes.com.